Hello, KidNuz fans. Another 7 minutes of fun, fresh news is straight ahead. But first, it's time to find the beat. Starglow Media is launching a brand new podcast called Music Land Stories. It's a weekly series that takes you on an epic adventure through the universe of Music Land, exploring all the magic that music brings to the world. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Tuesday, January 16th, 2024. And we begin with what should be the last day of a slow-moving Arctic blast that's been freezing noses and toes from Oregon to Mississippi. The low temperatures have been staggering. Dickinson, North Dakota registered minus 66 degrees with the wind chill on Saturday, and folks from the Rockies into northern Kansas got sideswiped by wind chills of minus 30. According to CNN, more than 100 temperature records were expected to fall just between yesterday and today. Southwest canceled 700 flights due to the conditions. Weather experts advise people to stay home if at all possible, even in Iowa, which hosted the first official contest of the 2024 presidential election yesterday and the coldest Republican caucus in state history. Donald Trump won easily, as expected, and as of this recording, Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis are neck and neck for a distant second place. The next election in the process to determine the major parties' presidential nominees will happen a week from today in New Hampshire. So, what is a caucus, and how is it different from primaries held in other states? First, the caucus is organized and run by the Iowa Republican Party, not the state government. And second, the rule requires any willing registered Republican to show up in person at 7 p.m. at a selected location in their neighborhood, like a school, a church, or Union Hall. There, representatives make speeches on behalf of their favored candidates. Attendees then write down their votes on pieces of paper that are counted by secret ballot. Each precinct sends their totals to the state party, which announces the results, usually within a few hours. Meanwhile, Democrats opted for mail-in ballots this year in Iowa. Results will be announced in early March. In other KidNuz notes, an update on the much-anticipated Lunar lander mission that turned into a bust. The Vulcan rocket blasted off last week from Florida, carrying what was going to be the first U.S. spacecraft to touch down on the moon in over 50 years. But a propellant leak forced the developers to abort the mission, and now the Peregrine lunar lander is expected to fly back in the direction of Earth and burn up in the atmosphere. There is a new king in Europe. Denmark crowned King Frederik X on Sunday after his mother, Queen Margaret II, abdicated or stepped down for health reasons. She served her country for 52 years, was the world's last reigning queen, and stunned just about everyone when she announced her decision in a live address on New Year's Eve. The new king and his wife have 4 children, with the oldest, 18-year-old Christian, becoming the crown prince. This monarchy is one of the oldest in the world, with origins going back to a 10th century Viking king. But today, the Danish royal family's duties are largely ceremonial. The 2024 Australian Tennis Open has just started, and already scheduling issues have become a problem. On the first day of play, the defending women's champion, Aryna Sabalenka, didn't even step onto the court until close to midnight, having to wait until the match featuring #1 men's tennis player, Novak Djokovic, was done. She needed less than an hour to secure a 2-set win before a half-empty stadium, but last year, one match didn't finish until 4:05 in the morning. After complaints from both fans and players, the Daily Mail reports organizers did add an extra day to the tournament and are experimenting with a few other changes to hopefully reduce the number of midnight matches. Coming up, why a hockey game came to a grinding halt due to airborne teddy bears. But first, today's KidNuz quiz. What state held the first contest in the 2024 U.S. presidential election last night? Iowa. How many U.S. temperature records are expected to fall between yesterday and today? More than 100. What time did the defending women's player start her first match at the Australian Open? Close to midnight. Which country has a new king? Denmark. In our KidNuz kicker, a professional hockey team was delayed for 40 minutes last week, not because of an injury or an equipment problem, but because that's how long it took to clean up all the teddy bears that were tossed onto the ice. A record-setting 75,000 stuffed animals were collected for charity last week and will be distributed to kids in need. The annual teddy bear toss happens at the home arena of the Hershey Bears, part of the American Hockey League, and is triggered when the home team scores a goal. New player Chris Prisky told reporters after the game, "First you're celebrating a goal, then you start getting pelted with bears. It's just phenomenal." Since the tradition started in 2001, nearly 500,000 teddy bears have been collected. Before we go, we want to give a big shout out to our terrific KidNuz teachers, Miss B and her Crusaders at Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Herrin, Illinois, Mr. Hora and his Prairie Hawks at Prairie Heights in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and from our parent council, Ms. Duncan and her Lions at Gideon Hausner in Palo Alto, California. Thanks for listening. For ad-free episodes, subscribe to Starglow Media on Apple Podcasts or wherever you like to listen. And we'll see you back here for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.